Last summer, I had the bright idea that I wanted to start talking to veteran writers, writers who are over the age of 50, and I wanted them to sort of start doling out their sage advice to new, young, up-and-coming writers. And I had the opportunity to do my first interview with RIGGIN WAUGH. She's the editor of Dykes with Baggage, hysterically funny anthology. If you haven't picked it up, you should. It's awesome. And here's what she had to say.
I would tell younger writers to just write and to keep writing and not to censor yourself. Don't edit yourself while you're writing. Just write. Get it out there. Practice might not make perfect, but it makes for better writing. And not to think about who's going to read it. Because if you censor yourself before you've even started writing, you're not going to come up with anything worthwhile. Like when sometimes new writers in critique, they get so upset, you know, I mean, they get just where they're so nervous before the class or workshop speaks about their work. And it's, you know, think of it as just part of your growth as a writer. And it's still your story or your poem or your essay. And so ultimately it's up to you what you keep and change and, you know, but keep your ears open and just stick with it. And send your stuff out. There's plenty of places to send your work to. You know, look in the back of Poets and Writers, get on that crops list. You know, send your work out and eventually someone's going to publish it.
How do you deal with rejection?
Well, I live on medication, so I don't take things personally. But seriously, I think you need a thick skin, and there's lots of reasons for people to reject your work, and sometimes it's just not what they're looking for. I mean, you've edited anthologies, you know that just not everything fits.
RIGGIN, how do you manage when you don't feel like writing, or it's been a long time that you've been writing?
I don't write. I'm a binge writer. So if I don't feel like writing, I don't write. And when I feel like I really need to make myself write, often I'll take a workshop, whether it's up at the Fine Arts Work Center in Provincetown, Massachusetts, or the Writers Center in Bethesda, Maryland, or whether I make something happen with some friends where we go away for a week and do writing exercises. You know, I'll do things to generate work. I don't do much critique anymore because I have friends who I can do that with on a one-on-one level, and I just spent too many decades doing that, so it's over for me. I think it's very valuable. I'm just done with it. I want to generate new work, and I like to find people who are also interested in doing that.
What do you say to people, or what do you think about people who feel like, if I don't know everything I need to know about this piece when I come to the page, then this is not ready to be written? Or
I would say the opposite. I would say if you already know what you're going to write before you've written it, what's the point? I think that you learn about your subject as you're writing, or you often learn your angle while you're writing. Mm-hmm. I don't know the end of a piece when I start writing it. I might think I know the focus, and that may or may not be the focus, but the idea is to go deeper. And a lot of times when you go deeper, the thing that originally was just something you weren't even sure whether you were going to include or not might become much more important. Mm-hmm.
Lately, there's been a lot of chatter about women in publishing, and how so a lot of women's writing is not taken seriously, where men get all this accolades and the Pulitzer and the book awards, and so some women are
saying, how's it different than anything else in America? Right. You know, I mean, Title IX, women's sports. Women always have had to work harder, and I think it's discouraging. But you'll find that among subgroups too. I mean, I'm sure that if you talk to, for example, Latino writers, I'm guessing more Latino men get published than Latinas. Is that because they're writing superior to women's? I don't think so, necessarily. So, I mean, yeah, it sucks. So all you can do is keep writing and getting your stuff out there.
Is this something you think you can do until, they put you in the ground?
Yes, because I'm not depending on it. I mean, I do write and edit for a living, but as far as my creative writing, it has never fed me. Writers, if you feel like you have to write, then you have to write. People who are coming at this like wondering, don't think about your audience, don't think about if it's going to be published even before you start writing, because I don't think it can work that way. Keep writing.
Keep writing.
Yeah.